Hi guys, welcome to the Vue.js course. Today in this video we are going to learn that how we can append the dynamic classes and styling using the Vue.js. So let's say in Vue.js you want to dynamically add a class or a style on specific property. How you can do that, right? So I have came up with a very basic example. I have imported a CDN and here I'm creating a Vue.js app, and now I'm going to implement that functionality here. I have opened that app here using the npx serve. Okay, so now I'm going to add a heading here. I'm going to add a h1. I'm going to name that heading 1, and here I'm going to add an active class on that, right? So here I'm going to add a style, right? First I'm going to teach you that how active class works, how it works in the HTML and CSS, and then how we can render this in the Vue.js. So let's say when we want to make our class active, we want to change its let's say color to aqua to this aqua, right? Okay, I save that, and in the HTML, let's say we want to call that class. We can do this using by calling this class heading 1, and if I go ahead and get refresh, you can see this aqua class is applied here. But now question arises that how we can achieve that using the Vue.js, right? I'm going to remove that class, and you can see this now it's not applying that. So how to achieve that in the Vue.js? So let's remove that, and in the Vue.js you need to create a variable. You need to create a reactive property. So you need to come into the data object and then return object here, and then you need to create let's say active property, something like this, active, and then you need to assign a value. So let's say you want to assign this active class, or you can say class name, something like this, and you want to assign this this one active class. Just pass this active, something like this. We have passed this to a variable, and then here we will call that variable. So class equal, and then its variable name. What's the variable name? It's a class name. So it will not apply, still it will not apply that class. Why? If I go here and check that, here you can see this class name is passed rather than this active class. Why? Because we are not binding this class. So for binding you need to use this vbind, something like this. Let's get refresh. So now you can see this, it's applied this active class rather than the class name, or you can use this shorthand only colon, so this will be also identical, right? So now our class is applied. Perfect. So now let's say you want to apply multiple classes on same file. So I have created another heading, which will be the heading 2, and make sure to do that to 2. Okay, and here I want to assign underline class, underline, something like this. It should be text oriented decoration should be underline. Okay, good. And now if I want to call that class, so I need to create it here. Let's say I'm going to do this with the same line, underline, and I'm going to assign that value to underline. This one is that class, and I'm assigning this to that variable. So this variable will be rendered rendered dynamically. So here let's say I want my class is applying on that, and I want to apply the multiple one, so I need to pass this as array. And first I need to pass, if I want to call first class, so then I need to mention the first key index, and then for the next I need to type something like this, underline, something like this. And by the way, these are now our variable, so we don't need to call them as string, so we need to pass them as variable, something like this. So now this class name I'm assigning this, and this one is this. So now let's get save and refresh, and you can see this, I got the heading 2 where color is applied and underline is also applied. So in this way you can call the multiple classes bind the multiple classes using the Vue.js. So now I want to teach you another third one is how you can append the conditional based classes. So let's say you have a heading 3 and I'm going to mention the heading 3, and here you want to apply a class based on the condition, right? So here class, and I want to say that if that class is active, or I can change something that let me this allow class, and then if the class is allowed, so then do something, let's say add a font weight property or something like this. No, not the font weight. What kind of property I need to apply on that? Let's say text align. No, text align will also not work here. I'm going to add a journal property here. Basically I want to teach you that I'm going to also change the color. Let's say color is red. I have a class of allow, and then here if I want to call that class, so let's say I want to call this allow class, so I need to pass this same as it is allow, something like this, and then I need to pass the condition. When this condition is true, so then this will be called, right? So let's say if I pass it here true, so then this allow class will be applied on that. So you can see this now class is applied, but if I pass this a false, so this class will not be applied. So here in the key in the value you need to define that value, but this is an example. Let's say you have a variable, let's say we have a variable which is have a property of allow true, and then you will call that variable here something like this. So this will be passed and be called. So you can basically apply a class based on the condition, right? Here you will call the actual class what you have here, and then you will pass the true and false based on the condition, and then that class will be rendered. And if you want to render the multiple one, you can do something like let's say ABC class, so then the value would be active, something like this. So you can pass them something like this, right? So I don't have that, please, that's why I'm not adding this out. So let's say you have a paragraph, and now you want to apply a style using the inline CSS, or you want to assign this using the internal CSS. So how you can add the dynamic styling without the class using the style tag? Let's say I have a class of para, and then here I want to apply a font weight property where I want to make it 600, right? And if I want to apply, oh sorry, why I'm creating that class, I'm going to teach you that how you can apply that out here. So let's say you have a style and you want to apply that font weight, it would be the 800. So this will be applied, right? Let's refresh. Oh my god, I haven't written anything. I am a paragraph. Okay, let's get refresh. You can see this now font weight is applied, right? But I don't want to achieve using this style, right? So let's get refresh. You can see this, it's a normal paragraph. But if you want to style this using the Vuejs, so let's say here by using this you can mention some of your property. In previous case we have passed this classes, but here you can pass the dynamic values. So you need to first bind that style, make it dynamic, and then here by using the objects you can pass the value. Let's say you want to apply a color or font weight, same font let me add this into the quotes, font weight, whatever the property weight, what's this? Okay, and then you need to pass its value, right? Let's say if you want to pass the value let's say 800, and then you need to pass that value using the string. You can see this, it's applied, but you can pass here variable. Let's say font weight. I'm creating a variable, I'll create it in a minute. Font weight, and then font weight will be 100, not 900. I think it's till 800. Let me mention the 800. Okay, font weight, and then I'm calling this same variable here on this spot, so this value will be passed here. So let's get refresh. You can see this, I'm getting that value here, right? If I change it here, let's say 500, so this value will be changed. You can see this, now this value is changed. So in this way you can bind the multiple classes using the Vue.js on the HTML. You can also add single class, you can add the multiple classes, you can add the class based on a specific condition. It's a conditional based class rendering, and then you can also apply the dynamic style on that. And similarly you can pass the multiple object. Let's say you want to color, assign a color and make it red, so this color will be passed here in the second property, right? And font will be let's say you want to apply the 800, so this 800 will be also applied on that. So in this way you can apply the style. I hope it makes sense, and if you have any confusion, don't forget to share it in the comments box, so I'll reply you. Thanks, bye bye.